Given the fact that Sports Republic have had this club for 3 years, how would you rate their success at the club so far? This is basically the anniversary when Sport Republic bought this football club. Given the fact that Sports Republic have had this club for 3 years, how would you rate their success at the club so far? Bear in mind that anything we say now is going to stop those money trucks from reversing and dropping cash off our house.
Okay.
So, and we're not going to get any access to the club anymore. It's just going to be dropped off. But we don't care about that. We're just going off the rails here. How are we rating it?
Sorry, Phil, I can't come for lunch after all. Bruh. If you're asking me, are we in a better or worse position than when they took over? Worse.
Yes, I would agree with that. However, we were kind of stagnating under the previous regime, with no money being spent on us, and it was inevitable something was going to happen, wasn't it?
I think on the footballing side of everything like that, it's way worse. But I think on the commercial side, you look at everything else surrounding the club. There is a better identity now. They're trying to bring as much revenue in, and you can see it's a lot better around the stadium. You can't deny that. But on the pitch, it just isn't. From when they took over, it just isn't. But that can change. All it takes, mate. All it takes is one change. But how do you feel? How do you feel? 2 years on. How you feel about it?
Yeah, 3 years on.
3 years on?
Yeah, would you believe it's 3 years? I'm kind of mixed because I see what we were like before. We weren't spending any money on the squad. We were losing players left, right and centre. We were bringing in talent in place of talent that we were losing that wasn't really cutting it. So it was spiralling out of control. If we were lingering in the lower half of the championship right now, I'd say it would be a massive failure. But because of where we are right now, albeit we're bottom of the league, of the Premier League, we're in the Premier League. They got us back up to the Premier League. I think the failings are the fact that they trusted the wrong people. Jason Wilcox is now at his job at Man United, and we were still playing his kind of system football with a manager that he installed at this club. That effectively, last season we conceded 63 goals. To think that we could come into the Premier League and not come off any worse with that system, I think it's just pure ignorance. So if I have to I think Rasmus Ankersen has to look at that and go, I should have been there. Because if he has a theory for how he wants football to be played, and he was bringing that into the club with the Sports Republic realm, he should have stuck with it.
I'm somewhat of the opinion, would you rather Martin Semmens had gotten the money that we've got here? Martin Semmens was still in charge, and having that old regime on the footballing side of things, bringing that, it's just that whole Jason. It's all those backroom staff that we lost in the last couple of years straight away. The moment that anything looked decent, it went. And I think all the things that if you think Sports Republic, if they had everything their way, right now we would be a mid-table side with Nathan Jones in charge, with Jason Wilcox running everything behind the scenes, and we'd be having a nice time. However, we've got none of that. Not having a nice time. But the only upside from that was Nathan Jones is not here. That is a good thing. But yeah, it's just nothing's gone the way they'd imagined it, and I think, and how much of that is because of their kind of almost stubbornness, a lot like Russ, of just like, this is how football's played, this is how we need to be. There's not a gap between the Championship and the Premier League in the bottom 10. Well, there is. There drastically is. And I think they've learnt that lesson now. And you did have naive football club owners coming in here, and I think they've had their absolute butts whipped in the last 3-4 years. So have they learnt the lesson? Are we all learning lessons here?
We're learning it right now.
Are we going to go down and come up again knowing a little bit better? Who knows? All I want to see, mate, is on a watch you score a goal. That's all I want in life.
Yeah, that's basically what we want to see. We want to see goals to be scored at this club, and let's hope we see some today. But if I had to give it a grade, I'm going to go for a C-. Is that fair?
I'll give it a D- at best.
There we go, C-, because I still want some of the money from the club. So keep those bags of cash coming our way, and Jack's go for a D-, and I'll chuck him a bung too. Does that sound good?
I think that's a fair split. I think that'll still keep us under the pay toll. That will keep that moolah coming in.
Exactly. We're just keeping it real. That's what we're going to do. But that is our honest assessment, completely unbiased. All jokes aside, it could be a lot worse, but they could have done a lot better as well.
You're excited about our holiday to Gastepe next week?
Can't wait. Oh, we were going to do our thing, weren't we?
Oh yeah, my fourth game.
Use your imagination somewhat, and imagine you can go back to, let's say, July 31st, is my birthday. July 31st, we're on our way back from the Oxford game, friendly, that we just lost 2-0. You can make any change right then. You can also carry on with any decision that we made. What would you do?
Well, obviously I want to stick Manning at number 6, keep him there. I think here's the thing, after that game I think we all knew we needed a new goalkeeper, so I would have tried to get Rambo a little bit earlier.
So we agreed we would have still bought Rambo regardless. What we know now on January the 4th, Rambo purchase, correct decision, no brainer that one.
And then it needs to be wingers, doesn't it, really? Like, even now I'm not even sure who you're bringing in and how you improve it, but it can't be a scattergun as what we've done. I mean, I'm just looking down there right now, look at Brereton and Diaz pass the ball about, I'm just going, where could that money have gone? That's the thing. It's not so much like across the pitch. It's like if we hadn't gotten Brereton Diaz and Fraser, and let's say a couple of others, could we have spent 30 to 40 million on someone that was going to actually do something for us? You look at Bournemouth with Matey Boy up top. It's like if we put a signature sign in, just someone who's going to run it about. That's what we needed. Someone
to actually bang away. I mean, ultimately, knowing what we know now, we would have made a managerial change. As brutally harsh as that sounds, we would have known that going into the Premier League with that system of football,
I wouldn't have given
naive.
I wouldn't have given him the contract extension. I would have been like, let's wait until January and see where we are. And then
let's see if United really do come in view. And see where we are.
And then I feel like if that was the case, we could have made the decision a lot earlier to get rid of him. Because I feel no matter what, the start of the season, you probably would have kept going with Russ. But I wouldn't have given that extension, so if it didn't work out, we knew that we could change him within the first few games. But have the idea of who's next in line, which it might have been Ivan. I feel like, Ivan given a few more weeks when we were in a better position, but they're saying that the beginning of this game was so disjointed that it's got to just be the players. It's got to be some of these players just ain't it.
But they've been thrown around with different system after different system, playing with different player alongside them every single game. It's not. I mean, it is surprising that they're perhaps not gelling quickly, but then also perhaps it's not. This is a very busy time in the calendar. How quickly can they learn new systems to play?
Well, you say that, but I think the ones that have gelled are the back three at the back. I think Bednarak, Nathan Wood, and Taylor Howell-Bellis as a defensive back pairing, it works. Granted that we're one down, but that comes from stopping everything. I just don't think they can be relied on going forward. Like the fact they were waiting for Taylor Howell-Bellis to whip a ball in all the time. It's like, right, do we not have a midfielder that needs to be doing this? There's so many times when we pull that ball back, and I always just think like how many goals just fall from that like Ward-Prowse cross in to hit back into the box. Just like Tottenham game, mate. I think about those 2 goals, Shea Adams goals, all the time. And the amount of times we do it and we don't fire that ball in, I'm like, for God's sake, even I know where that ball needs to be going. Granted, I would have pulled my groin out if I tried to do it, but at least I know where it needs to be going. And it's just everything's just one too many. Everything's one too many. But I even look at this team now, mate. I don't know what signings to make to fix it.
Hindsight is, of course, a wonderful thing, but of course there are some players that are currently on the transfer list, like such as Ben Brereton Diaz, who's on his way out the door. Charlie Taylor seems to be out of favour, and now with Wellington now being in the side and being available, then perhaps we'll see that as a left back option. But we'll obviously this is all hypothetical, but I think it's always interesting to think, what would you have actually done different back in July 2024? There we are. Anyway, it's enough of us yapping.
I would have put money on Forest getting into Europe.
Yeah, we would have stuck a tenner on Forest getting the Champions League, and we perhaps would have stuck 50 quid on us getting relegated, but yeah, there you go. Maybe. Might have been. Anyway, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What would you have done differently if you had a time machine? You could go back and run Southampton Football Club in July 2024. Support Liverpool isn't one of them. There's not an option available in this. If anyone writes, I'd support it, it's shameful, but we'd sort of understand. But there we go. Right, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, see ya.